everyone, this is Lori from the Crafting Auntie, back with you today for another December daily project. So I'm going to start off with December 3rd, and on our prompt list it is use a postage stamp. So I'm going to check that off. So what I thought I would do is make some postage stamps and also make a pocket to look like a postage stamp. So what do I have? I have some red paper that I'm going to cut this card out, put it on here. I'm going to use these scissors that are postal scissors to go around it. And then I'm going to do a little bit of collaging on another piece of paper, this white piece of paper with just some Christmas collage paper, and just kind of sporadically. And then we're going to use some gesso on it with some bubble wrap, and then cut them with these dies right here to make our own postage stamps. So let's get started. So the first thing I think I want to do, I have two things that I want to do first. One is I want to put some of this on the background of my page in my book so we can be drawing. So I thought what I would do is use this part here that has postcard on it. And I had glued this down as a pocket. I have lifted it back up so I can tuck in underneath it. And then what I decided to do is we'll hang some of the stamps that we make right here, and then I'm just going to glue it back down. So that's kind of my plan. So I'm going to cut a piece. So cut it right about here. Put this aside and get it out of my way. And then, let's see, I can always trim it off again. So I think I want the postal to be on here. So I think, or postcard, excuse me, postcard. So I think I want to trim it right about here. So I think we can cut this. So we'll do this, and then I'm going to cut that down. Let's just use a paper trimmer. Hopefully that will work okay. Let's see, let's cut some of the top off. Let me see. Let me get this figured out. Okay, just above the poinsettia. So we'll take this, tuck it under here, and let's trim this down. Perfect. And then I'll trim this edge right where I've creased it. You could tear this as well. You could use water on it and tear it. I'm just going to trim it this way. Okay. So put these pieces aside, put the trimmer aside, and perfect. So then that will cover our page. Okay, so I'm going to grab some of my Liquitex matte gel medium, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to be using Liquitex. This is a matte gel medium. I'm going to be putting that down with this. Just going to slightly wet my brush a little bit, just to have a little bit of wet. And then use some of this. Just going to spread it a thin coat, and it dries kind of fast, so I'm going to be working rather quickly getting this on. I've got something underneath here, kind of got to be careful moving around that from our project from the previous days. So let me just put this on. And now we can lay this down carefully. Try to get it lined up. Okay. And into there. Lift it out and try to get all the wrinkles out of it. So we'll just spread this carefully. And then I'm going to go over it again with a light coat to seal it. That way it seals the page. I love using this matte gel medium. It is probably the best that I have run across. If you haven't used it, you might want to give it a try. I love because it's a matte finish and it goes on really easy. So there's our page. So now we can let that dry. So I'll set my journal aside and we'll work on the next part. So what I want to use is just this piece of cardstock. It's just white cardstock. And then I have a bunch of scraps. And these are just some Christmas scraps of stuff that I have just recently been using. So I just want to cover this just like you would at Masterboard. And in fact, I'm going to use the same matte gel medium on this because I think it just really makes it a lot easier. So let me just dry my brush a little bit. And let's go on and use this. I was going to use glue at first, but I think this is easier. So we can just put some of this on and then tear some scraps. And they don't have to be overlapping or anything. So we'll just put some on. Various places. I have a whole bunch of different ones in here. Some things that I had just been working on. Some are cardstock, some are just paper. But I figured this is a good time to kind of use the scraps. So let's see, we'll just put this on here. Make sure we have enough underneath. Like I said, this stuff dries rather quickly, so just do that, and we'll add this piece on, and you don't need to cover the entire thing completely. And I think I'm just going to do half of this just for time's sake. And it needs to dry. So we'll just put that on. Let's make sure we got this stuck here. And I'm going to go over it a little bit too. All right. Put this on. Great way to use up your Christmas scraps. I really didn't have any because I hadn't done a whole lot of Christmas. And last year, I usually typically will clean out certain things after I get finished with projects. And some I keep, some I don't. I'm trying to get better about keeping most everything. But there are times where I don't. So let's see. Tear this and put this one on, and you'll see why you don't need to really cover the whole entire thing as we continue on this process. So I learned this from Louisa Heinzel, and it was probably a couple years ago. It was on, I think, their very first Ephemera. I think it was 2021, I think might have been their first. And she had created these postage stamps, and I just loved the process. So I did it then, just by adding some scraps, and I really loved the way they came out. So I wanted to try that again. Just keep adding some pieces. Let's see. To add another one here. Oops. Let's see. What else do we have in here? We have green. Let's use some of this. It's plaid on one side and green on the other, so we can use one of each. So we'll stick one here. Make sure there's enough down here to hold it, because this is a cardstock. And then let's do another one here. Okay, a couple more things. Just going to do half the page just for time's sake. Okay, put that on. Need a couple more. Let's see. Let's use this. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. So we're going to go ahead and let this dry like we're letting the page dry. So we're going to set this aside and let all of that dry. And meanwhile, we can work on this. So close this up, put it away, move my basket off to the side, and then we'll work on this. So this, I want to cut her out, ink her up, put it on this red, and then we're going to use these postal scissors that I have. So let's go ahead and do that. Use my paper trimmer. I like the way this one works. Very, very happy with this one. So cut her down. Okay. Oops. There we go. Okay, so now let's ink her up. So I'm going to go ahead and continue using Vintage Photo. Go around the whole outside perimeter of her, just so she stands out a little bit more on the red. Okay. Then glue her down on this red piece. I'm using art glitter glue. It's my favorite glue. So just continue. Just put the glue around here. And I'm going to leave a border. So I want a decent amount of border so I can cut. So do that. Then I'm going to use these postal scissors. If you don't have these, you don't have to do this. You can use anything else that you have, or you can just cut them straight. It really doesn't matter. But I wanted this to look like a big stamp. So that's why I decided I would use these. You have to kind of match them up as you cut so that you have a continuous flow of the postal stamp design. Okay, so that way. Okay, perfect. Now we'll do this side and the bottom. Trying to get the edges to be equal on all four sides. think I need to straighten this side out just a bit, so I'm going to go ahead and come in a little bit more and fix this. So it all ends up about the same. There we go. I think that looks a little better. There, that looks a lot better. Now the bottom. Perfect. Okay, so now let's ink her up. So now she's got the shape of a giant postage stamp. So now we want to do some stamping on her. So I'm going to grab some stamps and some ink, and then we'll make her look more like a postage stamp. I'll be right back. Okay, I dried off my pages in my journal. I also dried this, so we'll continue on after we stamp this with the postage stamps. I'm going to be using this stamp set. It is Merry Christmas Squirrels and Frogs Clear stamp set. And let's see. I think I'm definitely going to use this one. I'm going to put that on. And let's see. Let's do the Merry Christmas. And well, let's do these and then we'll go from there. So let's add this onto our stamp block. I'm using archival ink in black. Let's see, I think I'll do the round one first. So let's put that one on. Let's see. Make sure I have it the right way. Yeah. So let's see, right about here. Perfect. And then let's put this, cancel it out like it's been stamped. Like that. So we've got that now on our giant stamp. Okay. The next thing I wanted to do was I want to add an eyelet at the top, and I want to add a little bit of ribbon. So I'm going to use this ribbon again. So take my crocodile and use the large setting, and we'll put it right up here in the corner. Grab an eyelet out of my box. I'll use these gold ones. We'll just keep them out. And we'll put this, get this cinched down in here. I've got my setting already set to the right one. So get that. And then a piece of ribbon. So we'll tie that through here. And just a knot. Just like that. And then I'll snip off the edges. And that's our large postage stamp. Now it's going to go inside a pocket. That'll go onto the page. So what I want to do, because this is not going to be very thick to go in here, is I'm going to cut off these flaps. And these came from, I believe, Angela Kerr. Angela Kerr Designs. So I'm going to cut this off. If you need a bigger pocket or you want to add more things in there, then you can keep the flaps on, but I'm going to take them off on this. And we'll ink it. and then when we get back to our page, that will be glued in, and that'll hold this stamp. So let's get back to our homemade stamps. Move some of this stuff aside. Bring this in. And the first thing I want to do is clear a little area here. I'm going to use Lumberjack Plaid Distress ink. And I'm just going to go around over the whole thing, just to give it a little bit of color. Just a little bit of color. I guess I better put my piece of cardboard down because we're going to be doing something else on top of this. So do this. So I'm just using a makeup brush. These work great. And the Distress Oxide. So it's just going to give it a light color. And then I'm going to take a little of my gesso and a palette knife, and I'm going to put some right here on the side of the cardboard. This is golden gesso. It's probably one of the best gessos. Just going to add some out here. And then I'm going to take this piece of bubble wrap, and I'm going to dip it into the gesso, like this, and then right over the top of my piece, just like that. And it may turn a little pink color because of the oxide. If you don't want it to do that, I'm not concerned about it, but if you don't want it to do that, I would use an acrylic paint. But for time's sake, I wanted to do something a little different and that wouldn't take up too much time. So I'm just trying to make sure all the areas are covered. A little bit more right there. Okay, and that is it for that. So I'm gonna go ahead and dry this. So get my heat gun out. Dry this as much as we can so we can continue on. Okay, so here's what we have now. I did a second coat of the bubble wrap with the gesso just to give it a little bit more white. So that's what we have now. So now I'm going to take this to my die cut machine, and I'm going to cut out the stamps. So this is the dies. I think I got these on Amazon. So there's long ones and then the shorter ones. So I'm going to do some of both. So we have both sizes to play with. And I'll just position them how I want them and run them through my die cut machine. I'll be right back. Okay, here we have our postage stamps. So here's 2 of the large ones and 3 of the smaller ones. And just using these 2 dies. So that's enough to work with. So let's go ahead and decorate these. So I'm going to go ahead and use some of the same stamp set. Got a couple other round ones in here we'll pull out. Plus we have some snowflakes. So let's go ahead and do some stamping. So let's see. I'm going to use the same ink, black archival ink. And I'm going to make sure this is the right side up. Yes. Okay. So we'll do that. Do one on the big one, one on the smaller one. And then let's use this one. Let's see. Try to get it the right way. Yeah. So let's do this one on this one. And on this large one. And then I'll just use one of the ones that I had already used on the big stamp. And we'll put it on this one. Now you can decorate these a lot more. You can use small, tiny ephemera pieces and add those on. Let me just go off the page here a little bit. But we're going to just do this stamping, and then we're going to add some charms. So here and here. Okay, that's our stamping. So I have some charms that I have put aside. So let me pull these out and some bulb pins. So these are some gold charms I had. I have a tree, a stocking, mittens, package, snowman, and a couple of snowflakes. So we have a little bit more than what we need, but that way we can choose. And I'm going to go ahead and use the same eyelets because I want these to dangle nicely. So what I'm going to do is punch a hole down here in the corner on each one of them. Three, 4, and 5. And then we'll put the eyelets in. They're still just a little bit soft from having the gesso and the medium. I tried drying them really good, but just a little bit. So we're going to have that on each one. So do that. You can use smaller ones too if you wish. I wanted to have these large enough so that they would dangle nicely. Sometimes when I've used the small ones, they don't dangle as easily as the larger ones do. Okay, 2 more. Got this one. Oops, get the right way. And then this one. You can also do additional stamping on here if you wanted to. You could put some small snowflakes or any other kind of holiday, Christmas stamps that you might have. You can even actually use like a postage stamp. I know Tim Holtz, I have that set. So I'm just going to add these to the bottom. Just like that. So they will dangle like that. So we'll go ahead and add these all on. Let's see, we got a package. Let's do a snowman on this large one. Okay, so we got that. This one. Let's see, Christmas tree. this one. And let's do a stocking. Oops. And then let's do one of the snowflakes. Let's do this one. Okay, so now we have them all. So we can put these aside, put this away, and let's bring our page back. So here's our page. Clear some room here. We've got a couple things to do now. Okay. So on our page, we've got this pocket up here. So I thought what I would do is, let's see, I think I will put a small hole at the top and use a brad, I think, or a jump ring. Maybe a jump ring. And I wanted to put some of these up under here to dangle down. So we could put 3. We'll put these 3 here. So I've got my small, tiny punch. Kind of really thinking I want to put a brad in there. Not really sure how I want to do this. So let's see. I kind of want them to dangle down. You know, we're just going to glue them in. I'm not going to be taking these out to use them. So we'll do just like that. Make it easy. So put the glue on the top first. And position them. So got that one, this one, and then this one. Make sure they're straight. Okay, glue that down really good. The excess I can use on other projects. And then let's glue this whole thing down. So put glue on here and on here. Make sure our charms are out of the way. They will lay flat. And push that down. So we've got that so far. Now let's do our big stamp. So she's going to go in here. So I'm going to glue this down just on 2 sides. So here and here. And that will go here. Just like that. And then she will tuck in here. And we will just lay all the charms over the top. Just like that. So she will be guarding the stamp charms. Okay, let's do a little decoration here and here. Grab some of my goodies that I have over here. And let's see what we can find. Let's see. These are from Betty's Custom Design. I think one of these might look nice. Let's see. I got some small ones in here. Let's take a look. We could put that one there. And maybe do that one or this one. Not sure. I think I like the black one better. Okay, so let's go ahead and hi everyone, this is Lori from the Crafting Auntie. Welcome back to my channel. This is for the rest of our video, which is for December 4th. First thing I want to show you is I did add the date using a postage stamp. I like using these. So I found a stamp with the number 3 on it. I don't really see if you can see it too awful well, but that's what I put on here. And I'm not going to do anything on this page or on this ledger, so I'm going to be working for December 4th on this bag. And for today, it is an ID tag. I've decided I want to cover the bag using some of the Tim Holtz backdrops. So I'm going to do one side with this and then one side with this. So that's what I'll put on the bag. And then I'm using some of the Tim Holtz layers, the Christmas Noel. I'm going to use one of these in a pocket from the ID tag and also inside the envelope. So I'm going to use these two. Going to do some distressing on the back, some stenciling so it's not stark white. So I'll be using that. And then we are going to make Santa the star of our ID tag. So what I've done is I've cut a frame using these dies. And I have used these two together to create the frame. So the actual frame size is, it is just a little bit over, so about 2 3/8 by, about 2 3/8. So it's just a little bit over 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. And then this is from my Porch Prints. I believe it's called Winter White. It's a kit I got a couple years ago. And I've cut this piece to be just about 2 1/8 by 2 1/8. So when you put the frame on, it fits right inside, just like that. This piece is a piece of Tim Holtz craft cardstock. And I cut this piece at 5 inches by 3 inches. So this is where Mr. Santa is going to go on his ID tag when we get it finished. So, got a couple things to do. I want to do some stamping on the ID tag first. So I've picked out some stamps. I've got correspondence from Tim Holtz and field notes. So let's see. I think, oh, and I've also got, this is a new one, Woodlands. I have not used this one yet. But I think I want to go with correspondence first. So let me take these out. And let's just pick some of these and stamp it. I also have a Christmas stamp here as well. So I might use a little bit of this. We'll see. Okay, so let's see. Let's get our stamping block hidden under here. And I'm just going to start stamping all over it. Let's see. Let's do registered. I'm going to be using the same archival ink. And I'm just randomly stamping. I just kind of want the area to be covered in stamps. So got that. Let's give him a number. Number 0424617. That's his ID number. So put that up here. Okay. Let's see. Let's do the stamp. Place stamp here. For United States, Canada, Mexico. We'll just put that down there. And let's see. Special delivery. Make sure it's covered good. And we'll put him right there. He's a special delivery. Okay, let's see. What else? Oh, let's use this. Use this at the bottom. Make sure he's covered good. And we'll put it right there. Perfect. Let's see. Let's see. Let me go over to field notes. Let's see. What do we have in here? Oh, got destination. Let's use that one. North Pole. So, destination up here. Okay. And let's see. What else do we have here? Oh, let's use this one. This is collect. So I'm going to put that one right here. He's had his identification check. And let's see, we need a few more things. Let's do identification check. We do have that one, so let's do that. Right here. So far, that's what we have. Now let's see, I want to make sure where he's going to sit. So he's going to be about right there, so we need a little bit here and here. So let's do this round one. We'll do that right there. And let's see, what else? Let's see what else we can put here. How about a receipt? Can do that. Okay. Need a small one, so let's do this figure 1 and figure 2. Right there. And we just need one more, I think. Oh, we need a small one up here too. So let's see, Mr. Santa's going to end up going there. Let's see, how about include, how about, it's a little large. I think I'm going to do enclosure. Do another round one. Do this one, right side up. Okay. All right. And then just a small number up here. How about this one? So we use number 365302. And we'll just stamp that right there. Perfect. Okay. So we've got the stamping. And he's going to be going right about there. Perfect. Okay, so now that I've got the stamped, I want to do a little bit of distressing with this sanding disc, since this is the craft paper from Tim Holtz. So I'm going to go ahead and sand some of these edges. And distress it up. Oops, gotta be careful. This is not very wide, so I gotta be careful when I'm sanding it so that I don't tear it. I love the way this craft paper works though. You can make it very vintagey looking just by a little bit of sand. You don't need these discs. You can use a nail file, but it just really makes a world of difference on how it looks. And now I'm going to do the same thing on this. And I wanted to stamp it first because I wanted to kind of make everything look a little bit older. So my plan is to do a little bit over the top as well. So it looks like it's been around a while. He's been around a while, right? Yeah, just like that. So just keep going. And then a little bit more on the edges. So now it looks more like this. Now we'll use some of the vintage photo Distress Oxide and go around the edges. And I'm going to put some on top as well into some of those areas. Give it a little bit more grungy look. Just like that. And then let's do the frame. Okay. And now let's grunge up Santa a little bit. I'm gonna kind of wrinkle him up a little bit. Give him some folds in here so that the ink will gather. Give him a grungy kind of a look as well. Okay. Now we'll go over him. Vintage him up a bit. There we go. Okay, so now let's put the ID card together. So here's Mr. Santa. He's going to go on here, right about like so. So let's see. I want to have a little edge on this left side. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue him to the frame. So I'm just going to put glue right on along the edge here. And if you don't have these dies, you can always cut one yourself, whatever size you want, and then cut the inside out. I like using the dies, but not everybody has them. Okay. See if we can get him in there, just like that. Just like that. And then now let's glue him down. Right about there. Okay, so now we have our ID card. So one thing I want to do is I do want to round the corners. I could have done this beforehand, but I wasn't sure I was going to do it or not, but I do want to round the corners. So we'll do that. And then I'll just ink around them again, just like that. Okay, so there's our ID card. So now I want to put some eyelets on. So I think I'm going to put one here and one here. I think that's what I'm going to do. So we'll get our crocodile, and let's put one here and one here. And I'm going to use these bronze colored eyelets. And they're a little smaller than my crocodile, so I have to use a pencil to open up the hole just a little bit more. Just be careful when you're doing this so that you don't tear your paper. And then it fits right in. Get that put on. So you got one there. And one here. Okay. So now we have our ID card. Now Santa's legal to go around the earth. Okay. So let's put that away and let's get our page. And let's bring that over. So like I said, I'm going to be using this pocket that I put in here. It's a bag I created into a pocket. So I'm going to cover this side with this color. So let's go ahead, and I think I want to use, my decal edge trimmer for this. So let me grab that. And let's see, there's my mark. And let's cut that. And that will go here. Perfect. Then we can still get into the bag. And then on this side, I'm going to do the other side. So let's see how much we have to cut off, because it's a little taller. Let's see. Let's go to here, and then I'll just have to trim around it. So let me cut this one. Now let me make some room, put some of this stuff back where it belongs, so I got some space. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and distress this. Distress here. That one. Let's distress this one. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. I wanted it to look a little more vintage, so that's why I'm doing it. And then while we are distressing, I think I'm going to go ahead and grab my 2 pieces of Tim Holtz layers. And let's go ahead and do this coffee dye stencil on here using a brush. So I'll put some here, and maybe down here and here, just to give it a little something. Let's do the same thing here. And let's do this up here. Like that. And then go ahead and just, wrong thing. Go ahead and distress these around the edges, both sides. This is a little bit shiny, so it may not stay on here as well. hopefully, well, it looks like it's staying on pretty good. Probably be okay once it dries completely. Dries pretty quick. Okay, I think we're done with the distressing for now. All right, so let's go ahead and glue our backgrounds. Oh, let's distress this. Let's see. Let me grab a paper towel here. Let's just put that underneath this. And then I'm going to go ahead and distress the edges and the top. Both sides. This side I already did some stenciling on, but I just did some. I wasn't sure. I figured some of it would be covered up and maybe some of it would not. But when I was making the journal, I just thought, well, I'll just add a little bit on there. Okay, so we got that. So now we can go ahead and glue these down. So this one. I'm not making it into a pocket or anything. You can make it into a double pocket, have a pocket on the inside and then a pocket on the outside, but don't plan on doing that. But I do plan on making the ID tag a pocket. So we got this. Go ahead and do the other side as well. And again, I'm not making this a pocket either. Just covering it. And then this will go on this side. And then we'll just trim the edges a little bit. Little tabs on the top where it sticks out. It's the shape of the bag. So we'll just trim that off right there and right here. So now we've got it covered. Now our ID tag is going to go, is it going to go here or is it going to go here? I was hoping it'd go here, but I'm not sure. Maybe, nope. I'm thinking, let's have it stick out. Let's do that. I'm going to make a pocket though. So we'll glue right about here. And here. Just want to make sure I'm not gluing the wrong place. Okay. So glue that on. Let's make sure our pocket is still open. Yes. And we're going to put the Christmas tree. I think it's a delivery receipt here in the pocket. Santa's delivering the Christmas tree. And we're going to put the Grand Christmas Exposition, now open, toys, dolls. Now it's going to go inside the bag pocket, like so. And then let's go ahead and add a tab to this and a tab to the one going inside. So I have these that I have made using the Tim Holtz Chapter 3. And I think we'll have, let's do a red one on one and a craft colored one on another. Okay. Let's see, let's do the craft colored one for this one. So, distress it. It's not folded very even. There we go. And we'll put that on right there. actually, wrong thing. It's going to go on here. Okay, yeah, right there. That'll make it easier to pull it in and out. Okay, so let's put that here. Kind of in the center, like so, and then that will go here, like that. And then the one inside, put a tab on the right side to pull it out. And you can stamp on these if you want to. I'm not going to, just to save time. About like that. And that will go in here. And on the back, I hadn't really thought about what I was going to decorate with, but I think I might use some of the other Tim Holtz layers. So let's open this up and let's see what we can decorate with on the other side. All kinds of stuff in here. Let's see. Not sure. Maybe one of the trees. And let's see. Maybe something. Oh, that's too big. Let's see. What do we got here? Maybe the holly. I think the holly looks a little better. And I think this darker red. It's not doing it for me. None of them are doing it for me. Maybe we just do this. Yeah. And maybe that. Okay, let's do that. Then we'll be finished. And then I do have a stamp that has a 4 on it that I want to put on the other side. This is just decorating this side. So if we just do this. So let's glue this down first. Okay. Like that. And then the holly. Can't go wrong with Tim Holtz. And then let's put this one kind of like, maybe like that. Kind of framing it in. About like that. Let's see, is there anything else? Maybe we add a star. What about we add a star right there? That will work. Distress it. And put that on. Right there. Okay, so we've got that. And here's our day number 4. And try to find my stamp that I had set aside. Let's see. There it is. And it's in green. So let's see. Where should we put this? Maybe there. And this is from the United States. For December 4th. Right there. So there's our page, and there's our ID card. Santa's now legal to go around the world. We have our Tim Holtz Christmas tree delivery receipt going in here. We have the Christmas exhibition. We put something on the back going in here. And then we just decorated the back. So that is for December 4th. Hopefully you got some inspiration from both of these videos. If you get a chance to make something following our prompt list, feel free to comment in the section. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook. I have the things linked down below. And hope you guys have a great day until our next project, which will be coming up for December 5th and 6th. See you next time. Bye.